Hello and welcome to the Quincy Access Television studios. I'm Mark Crosby. I'm joined today by three musicians of the trio Oko. Joining me, sitting to my left, is cellist Mina Kim. Welcome, Mina.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
A pleasure to have you. Next to her is violinist Emma Powell. Welcome as well.
Thank you.
And next to her is harpist Charles Overton.
Yep, thanks.
First time for all of you at Quincy Access Television. We have a lot to talk about today, and I'd like to really get to maybe the origin of the trio. And then we'll kind of talk about your individual musicianship. But let's talk, how did trio Oko form?
Yeah.
Clearly we know the makeup as far as the instruments that make the trio up.
Yeah, I mean, we've all known each other through different means, but actually all three of us were at the Summer Music Festival out at Tanglewood, the Tanglewood Music Center in 2016, and reconnected in Boston through various means. And I don't know, we all could relate to the idea of being freelancers in the area and sort of not really having time to make music that's, I guess, a little bit less stress-inducing. You know, sometimes when what you do is what you love, but you're also doing a lot of it, it can become a little bit stressful. So we were trying to find an opportunity to both reconnect as friends, but also to make music with like no strings attached, just like let's make sound to make sound and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And how about this area of the country for, I suppose, music appreciation, specifically classical music?
Yeah.
I moved to Boston actually from Korea in 2010, and I feel like this area is full of musicians to begin with, but also like so many people are dying to hear music and there's a lot happening, and I feel like naturally just started to, you know, play for other opportunities and stuff. It makes it so much easier in this area, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So talk about, did you say Korea?
Yeah.
So talk about your background and I suppose maybe the music scene when you were there.
I'm from like a similar town actually. It's called Busan in South Korea. It's a very southern town. It's a port city. It had like a pretty vibrant music scene, but not as much as Seoul, like aka New York City type of thing. But it still had very tight-knit community, and I think Boston has very similar feelings. Like all the musicians know each other, and there's like a very tight-knit community of musicians who play at very high level. And I don't know, being here is very inspiring.
And Emma, what's your background? Where are you from? And
I grew up in Michigan, I've been playing all my life, basically. I wasn't really planning to go into music, actually, when I was younger, but sort of just ended up that way. It was that summer, actually, at Tanglewood. I feel like that was around the turning point of when I ended up sort of wanting to go into music more, and it was a fun summer, I think, for all of us. And so I was in Houston for a little bit, and then I moved to Boston. I think maybe a couple years ago, and it's been great.
Is the scene very different from the places you previously were at?
Yeah, I think there's, again, like Mina was saying, there's so much going on in Boston. There's a lot of musicians packed into a very small area, and there's a lot of different types of gigs and performance opportunities, and there's just so much going on, and so to sort of slowly piece together what it is that you love doing and finding people that you really enjoy working with, like, it's been sort of a fun journey.
So Charles, your background?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia. I moved away when I was 15 to go to boarding school, arts boarding school at Interlochen, and also in Michigan. I think there was actually maybe a few times where we went to Ann Arbor, so we might have been in the same city at the same time. And then I came to Boston to go to the Berklee College of Music because part of my journey in playing with the harp has been through improvisation as well, and playing different styles of music on the harp. You know, growing up in my program in Virginia, I was lucky that my music teacher brought in guest artists from all over the world who played the harp in such like drastically different ways. So I knew that while I loved classical music, that other kinds of music were possible to be made on the instrument. And I chose to go to Berklee primarily because while I had an interest in exploring what was outside of classical music, I think part of me knew that unless I was like forced to confront it and be immersed in non-classical music, that I wouldn't necessarily seek it out or grow in it in the way that I wanted to. And Berklee is a unique kind of music school in which there aren't majors in genres of music. Like you can't major in classical performance or jazz. You just major in performance. So, and in doing that, you can take classes and be treated as if you are like that kind of musician. You can like just sign up for like a metal ensemble, or you can sign up for, I guess in my case, I got put in, I got put in a jazz ensemble my first semester, only having really taken the music seriously for a year. And yeah, I got thrown to the wolves, you know, trial by fire. You learn what you don't know super quick, and you try to figure out what you do know.
Talk about the upcoming performance at the Thomas Crane Public Library. That will be Sunday, October 27th from 3 to 4 p.m. in the Richardson Room, which is at 40 Washington Street. A beautiful room. Mina, we were talking about this. You had actually performed in that room a while back with a different group, and sound in that room is just fantastic for folks, so this will be perfect for you. But talk about what folks can expect the day of the concert.
Yeah, we're going to be playing 3 different repertoire written for harp trio. Actually, one isn't written for harp trio, so that's one of the things that we really try to make it work better, is that there aren't that many repertoire actually written for a harp trio of violin and cello and harp.
Interesting.
So it's something, it's already a treat that you can hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first piece on the program is this piece by Mozart, actually, that I heard at a summer music festival a couple years ago. And yeah, like Mina was saying, because, well, in general, there's not a whole lot of repertoire for harp when you compare it to the violin or the cello. Or I should say there's not
I feel
a whole lot
bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's not so much, at least of the same composers, of the same eras, that kind of stuff. And so it can feel like there's like a gap in the education sometimes. So oftentimes when I'm listening to like Mozart or Schumann or Schubert or these composers that historically haven't written a whole lot for the instrument, I'm thinking like, oh, could that work on harp? And at least the first movement of this piece, I really thought like that, this is it, this is going to work. And I brought it in. It's still wicked hard, but but yeah, we had a lot of fun putting it together. And again, like Mina was saying, because there's not a lot of repertoire originally for this instrumentation, a lot of what we were doing in the last season was combining duos for the different instruments, as well as music for all 3 of us to play. But something exciting for this upcoming show at the Crane is that this is our first program where we're playing entirely all together, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting treat for us and a learning opportunity as well.
So you hinted upon it, and I'd like to kind of expand upon it. So when a program is decided upon, or you're deciding upon a new program, is it a collaborative effort? Do you all have input
Yeah.
regarding the pieces?
I'd say so, yeah.
Definitely.
We sort of have like a group chat going of just, that's really how we do it. It's pretty informal, but just anytime somebody finds a piece that they like, we just put it in there and everybody listens to it. And yeah, we just kind of went from there. And like you said, this is the first program where everything that we're playing is written for a full trio. So this one was a pretty easy one to put together. But,
Definitely.
yeah.
I want to thank you all for joining me here in the studio and kind of finding out about you as musicians individually, and of course about the trio overall as a whole.
Yeah,
Thanks for
again for
having
having
us.
us.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah.
Well, after our conversation with Trio Oko, let's hear a performance by the trio.
you.